Today's electronic pressure cookers are pretty versatile machines. This one, for instance, by Simply Ming, is a pressure cooker, a slow cooker, and a steamer, plus it also acts as a rice cooker. So today I'm going to be using my pressure cooker to make rice. This particular rice cooker did come with the rice cup. Now if yours comes with a rice cup, you want to use the one that it came with because the machine is designed to use around the measurements that are provided. So I'm going to be making 4 cups of rice. So I'm going to use 4 cups of rice from here dry. And then there's also some indicators inside. See if I can get it where you can see these lines here, and I'm going to fill it with water to the 4 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my 4 cups of rice, and then I'm going to wash it. Washing your rice can be really important when you're using something like this, because what happens is rice has got a lot of starch in it, and so do noodles, as a matter of fact. And what will happen is as it's cooking, it will froth and foam, and then that can get up really high and damage your machine. So when you're washing it, what I usually do is I put my rice in a bowl of cold water, and I sort of agitate it under running water until it runs clear. This is what it looks like when you first start. That's all the starch in the water. You don't want that. Once it finally runs clear, then you're ready to go ahead and use your rice. So this has already been washed. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the rice cooker. And that's my cups, 4 cups that I measured out. So then I've gone ahead and added water right up to the line inside that states 4. And then what I'm also going to do to help keep it from frothing up and foaming is you want to add a little bit of oil. In this case, I'm going to add butter. Rule of thumb pretty much is if it's going to be 2 cups of rice or less, add 1 tablespoon of butter or oil. And if it's going to be 2 or more, then you add 2. So I have 2 here. And if I was doing pasta, I would also add oil probably, or some butter to that. So that's in there. I'm going to go ahead and put on the lid. I love how easily the lid works on here. I'm going to turn my valve to seal. And I'm going to turn my pressure cooker on, and I'm going to go about 6 minutes. So that's on top of the time it's going to take to come to pressure. So probably within about 10 minutes I'm going to have rice. So let's go ahead, get it started. Okay, my 6 minutes are up, and I went ahead and quick released the pressure on here, which means that I very carefully turned the dial to vent so that all of the steam can come on out. Now my button has depressed over here into the lid, which means that all the pressure is gone. So the lid easily opens, and I'm anxious to see just how we did. So looks like it did a really good job. Look at that. It's fluffy, it's moist, it's not too dry. I think the measurements that they had were just perfect. Whoops, the whole thing is moving. That's just great. So I'm going to go ahead and let that steam, or let it just sort of sit for a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to get my sausages ready. My rice is sitting aside covered and it's steaming, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of bonus here. I'm going to go ahead and pressure cook some brats to go with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my pressure cooker on to the open sear, and I'm going to go ahead and start that. And I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil right into the bottom, just to give a little color. The open sear heats up so quickly in this machine, it's fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and add 5 brats down here. You could have also added maybe some onion or something if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do them just as they are. And what I want is I want to go ahead and sear up the outside a little bit all the way around. Okay, so I've pretty much browned them on the 2 sides you can. It's really hard to brown on the curved side, so this is going to be good enough. I'm going to add to that 1 cup of chicken broth and some red wine. What the heck. Use up the last of the little bottle. Now, there's been a couple of schools of thought on how long to pressure cook this when I did my research. So I've gotten anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 15 minutes and see what we've got. I could probably err on the side of 10 minutes and then check it. So I'm kind of undecided. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get this to pressure cook. Guess I'll go ahead and start with 10, and then I will take the temperature. So we've got that going, and see you in 10. Oh my, if you could only smell these. I'm going to go ahead and get one out and put my thermometer in there. And I'm looking for about 170. Now we did do the 10 minutes. And it looks like we're not going to have a problem with that at all. So probably could have done maybe even a little bit less. So we're going to go ahead and get these out and serve them over our rice. And let's see what we've got. So here I have the rice and the sausage here, and we used the juice here to make a little bit of a gravy. So I want to note that this entire meal here took about 30 minutes, and that includes prep time it took to wash the rice and to fry the sausages, and we used the same pressure cooker for both items. So that's pretty good. And I actually am going to make a salad to go with this, but I just want to give this a little taste and see how we did. Again, this is just tender and moist, like everything that we seem to cook in that machine. You can just see the juice in there. We're going to go ahead and give it a little taste. That is so good. It's probably some of the best bratwurst I've had. I can taste the wine infused in there. The chicken broth gave it really good flavor. You could also have used beer in that, and that would have been really good too. One great thing about the pressure cooker is that it just forces all the flavor into whatever you're cooking. That is great. See how the rice came out. Perfect. Can't say enough good things about this whole ensemble here. Worked out great. Another winner for the rice cooker, or excuse me, for the pressure cooker.